3 weeks ago, David Hay, the Celtic manager, wrote to the Scottish League asking that Bob Valentine never referee a Celtic game again. Well, what was Bob doing this afternoon? He was at Brockville Park, Falkirk, to referee Falkirk against, guess who? Celtic. Well, who would be a referee anyway? The criticised, not to say vilified, parentage very frequently cast into doubt. All for 36 quid. Would you do that? Listen to that noise out there. I suppose referees must realise they cannot be immune from criticism. Although, to be fair to Bob today, it must be difficult to cast out of his mind that specific criticism which came from Celtic. It adds an interesting dimension to a game which has attracted an all-ticket crowd.
And a crowd that's creating quite a din here. First time I've been at Brockville in maybe a year, actually, and it's a delight to come to a ground that's very famous and associated with television football history. One of the early games to be televised was here at Brockville Park. And indeed, I'm looking right down the park, right behind the goal, the Falkirk goal, defending at this corner kick. Unusual position, but interesting. And there is Brian McClare starting off with the intention of Celtic attacking for most of this game. Headed forward there by Tony Shepherd. McClare, not equal to that ball in the air. A nice turn there by Muddy McLeod. McClare. That was a good tackle, yes. Referee rightly waving play on as Brian Purdy comes away with it. Testing the Celtic defence with that long ball, and Aiken slipped up that time. There's a very good position here. Edwin, oh, he was so cumbersome in the way he turned. Superb move by Falkirk, really catching the Celtic defence out. An uncharacteristic stumble by Roy Aiken, giving them the opportunity, and the big figure of Alan Irvin, who's been playing splendidly for a Falkirk this season, just a little too heavy in the way he tried to turn. Celtic obviously impressed by White playing in the middle of defence. Look at that shot away in the corner there, by the way. That shows you the kind of crowd that's coming in late. That's a free kick. Well, that's an interesting thing. Away in the corner, the crowd seem to have bust down the terracing. They seem to have either latecomers or come down from the terracing. We've got this astonishing spectacle. I don't think the referee's aware of what's happening. Meanwhile, the game goes on. Rob Stewart. Sorry, that's Alan Irvin. That's Stewart. And that's a corner. Now the referee might appreciate what's going on in the touchline. Platform at Queen Street Station in the rush hour. This will be the shot, and brilliantly saved by Bonner. That was difficult. Right through a forest of legs. Morris Johnston. And Falkirk finding very hard as Peter Heatherstone goes down. Tries to get the return, but there is Roy Aiken. That's the shot coming up now. Watch it now. Look at the goalkeeper. Watch the goalkeeper right through. Superb instinctive save, using his body well. Tommy Burns. Aiken. McClare. Running by McClare, but he's looked after particularly well. Of course, when you're a prolific goal scorer, a very good player coming from deep in midfield, then you're an identifiable target. And an attempted header by White coming forward now for McStay. The little nutmeg, there's a great move by McStay. Oh, superb stuff. Even when he's been going through his mediocre periods, you just feel that this instinctive genius of his will always burst to the surface like that. He made it, set it up, and almost finished it. Oh, the struggle there between Irvin and White. I think White getting the edge at the moment. Turned there by Rav Stewart, showing up prominently for Falkirk. There was a slip again. That's the reverse pass, but far too strong. Now McStay, little bit of room for him there. He'll touch it on, he does. McClare, an attempt at the 1-2 and the reverse pass there to Paul McStay, not quite coming off. Cloud, he's had a quiet game. Just about halfway through this first half. I think the full complement of the crowd is now in. Some of them almost 20 minutes late getting in, or getting a place in the terracing. Johnston, McInally, likes to go to defence, and he does that very well. I thought he would let fly. Held on to that far too long. He did have a view of goal. Shepherd. Nice reverse one. McInally. Oh, it's a wrestling match. And the referee's given a penalty. It's a penalty to Celtic for that challenge. It was certainly a wrestling match. And with, as I said, we are now dead on the halfway mark of this first half. A penalty as a result of this challenge here. Now watch Jim Dempsey going across with McInally, and there was pulling and jostling, and down the both players went, and that is a penalty. Brian McClare will take this. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh. Let me tell you, let me emphasize, I'm watching this from behind the goal for a change. It's quite a unique position, and from that angle it looked ridiculously easy, but dreadful miss. Nice touch there. Heatherstone, Evan, running at Aiken, who covers that very well and wants it again. Roy Aiken holding the Celtic defence together, no question about that. He's got a young man beside him, and Roy is the perfect example for him. Touch to Irvin again. That must be a shot, brilliantly saved from Jim Hughes. Warner already has performed a little minor miracle for Celtic earlier on with his legs, and this time a bullet of a shot, and this is all about good positioning. The angle made awkward by exactly where Bonner was. McClare and Maurice Johnson, the twin threats, are being picked off very easily by this defence. Alan Irvin, a bit slow that time. There's McClare. Willie McStay goes on the outside, but Paul McStay picks it up. Now this is a better position for Celtic. McStay, Johnston. Up it comes to Burns. There was a dummy and nobody was behind him. Well switched there by Shepherd. Willie McStay towards McInally. There's McInally and Burns. Gets round his man very well indeed. And Celtic are beginning to push the likes of Shepherd, McStay and Mother McLeod forward for these balls from the goal line, getting more players into the penalty area, but Falkirk are coping. Yes, it's nice to see a little ground well filled, adds to atmosphere, gives the players an extra appetite for competition. Tommy Burns creating a lot from this deep position. McStay read it well. Picking up the ball he did, the pass not so clever. Shepherd. All late. Referee waves play on. Not a McLeod, that's hard for Tommy Burns. Does very well to keep it in. Burns. Now McInally. Not a McLeod, good turning by Mo Johnson rather. With Johnson to Burns. There's the header, and it just passed. Brian McClare. Very interesting to see that angle. Just clipped with the head, and McClare could do nothing other than put his head in the way, but he had no other time for placement, and the elevation just too much. And there goes the half-time whistle. No scoring. I suspect that Celtic are suffering a hangover from that extraordinary game they had against Motherwell on Tuesday evening, and when they went to extra time, then penalties. Now, and even a team of Celtic's calibre, I think that drains them emotionally as well as physically. And I think even the way that McClare took the penalty kick was a kind of symptom of it. Slack and rather flabby effort at it, and going over means that Falkirk, having played very stoutly in that first half, stand a very good chance, if we take that as a barometer of things developing, a very good chance of getting a result in the second half. And surely a first half that has given this team a lot of confidence. Certainly not overawed by Celtic and the huge support. They've had one or two efforts that have brought out fine saves, and Bonner, the goalkeeper. Celtic have up their sleeves Peter Grant and Mark Smith. Mark Smith, who was an amateur with Queen's Park. Could be a good day for him, and that's back to Watson. Miscued passes just like that one you've just seen. Now, McStay. Now he looks menacing. That's a chip, and there's nobody there for Celtic. Not a McLeod. And Celtic have picked up the momentum. One to Celtic. Mo Johnson. Shepherd. Falkirk defence coming out. Shepherd with a brilliant shot, and superbly saved. With his marvellously loyal servant to the goalkeeper, George Watson. Now, counter-attack by Falkirk. It's square though, forcing Cormac back. There's a neat little chip in, and that should be tucked away by Paul McStay. Plunge to McStay, better game now. That Tony Shepherd shot, and indeed his whole move, the vision of it, and that brilliant slave. I think it's worth looking at again, that when you really turn the Falkirk defence, and then he looked up and he let fly, and that is as good a save, and shot for that matter, as you'll see in a long time. Well, he's been cool in this game. Probably have reservations about that penalty awarded. Fighting hard, I told you, they had this top-tie spirit about them, Falkirk. Nichols very neatly. Now, there's a bit of room to manoeuvre. McStay. Shepherd. McStay inside, William McStay on the outside. Shepherd having a very good second half. There's McStay! Almost took the bar away. McLeod. I was seeing something like Celtic. On it goes. McClare tries to touch it back. Shepherd, total miscue. And still the Falkirk goalmouth remains intact. Pushed there by Jim Hughes. Good counter-attack this by Falkirk. Maybe that's a bit too hard. A lovely touch though. They're waiting in the penalty area. too strong. Forces Rab Stewart away to the line. And that last 90 seconds was, I think, the best in the entire match so far. Now, what I like about McStay is that even in a tight area, he does get enough space, and that's all about his skill and class, to let fly with that ferocity. And I think he was very unfortunate he came off the bar. That's Nico, just got the slight touch. Very clustered in that midfield. Mo Johnson. Brian Martin's had a quite excellent game for Falkirk. Number 2. Good in the air, firm in the tackle. Shepherd, sensing he can do something, and yet again he opens up. This must be another shot. Oh, brilliantly saved from White. What a transformation in this Celtic team. That indecisive quality about them has disappeared, and they really are letting fly. The big teenage defender, look, superb example of goalkeeping too. Very reliable pair of hands. Stay trying to get behind it. It's all Celtic now. White. It's a bit untidy. Buns. There's a shot. A kind of stabbed chip by Tommy Burns. Really didn't have much time to make up his mind. Aided the cause in coming on in the second half. Latish. I think one or two of these Falkirk players out there are showing visible signs of tiring and turning very quickly as Tommy Burns picks up. Grant. First by Grant. That's beautifully to the side by Burns. There's Mo Johnson with a great chance and brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper again. Using his legs. Not a bad last barrier here at Falkirk with that goalkeeper Watson. Going to one side, shoving his legs out the other. That's excellent, sound, technical goalkeeping. Youngster Mark Smith keeps it in. Nice ball to that far post. There's Mo Johnston. Whipped away there by Martin. And the referee blows. It was hands, I think, yes. Free kick to Celtic. 9 minutes left. Countdown to what might yet be a very surprising result. Quite rightly, being as he was in the first half, very fussy about where they take these free kicks from, and now it's Roy Aitken. That's touched away there by Brian Purdy. Good ball though. That will be another corner kick. Celtic support roaring them on now. Thought that Roy Aitken might have gone forward for this himself, but he remains on a halfway line. All the others are in for this. Oliver Clark with it, and it's in. Mo Johnston. 1-0 with 8 minutes of the game remaining. Well, the little man who can get in there quickly and stab in the most unusual goals. He's a great 6-yard box player, proving again just how deadly he can be in the Falkirk defence. Had suddenly evaporated. They weren't there,
And Johnston punished them. 1-0 for Celtic. Thoroughly deserved on the amount of pressure they've had in this second half. That's McStay. There's a header, McInally. Just a bit too much, and I think it got it more with the top of the head than flushing the forehead. Up he went, and yep, just as he turned, it was all off the top of the head. Johnson goes after it again, and I think maybe tiredness was a contributory factor in that goal. The defenders seem to be looking at each other, very static, and Johnson was in like a flash. Burns, break by Falkirk, but Celtic now overpowering them. Nice touch there by Smith. Johnston. Roy Aitken. Shepherd. McInally, Shepherd, a good run, and it's just scraping the crossbar virtually. Nice move by the boy. He's had, I think, perhaps the best performance in the second half by a Celtic player. Falkirk take a lot of credit from this game, even though they don't get a single point. Not just their attitude, of course, their organisation. The occasional counter-attack that produced excellent saves from the Celtic goalkeeper. They've made a game of it. They've been very committed. It's been very much, as I said repeatedly, almost it's like a cup tie. A lot of the credit, therefore, goes to them for making it exactly that. Free kick to Celtic. Shepherd can't keep it in. Final whistle at any second. And there it goes. Whatever the style of the performance, Celtic effectively get 2 points, inspired by the captain Roy Aitken when things were getting a little rough for them in the first half in particular. A lot of good performances in the second half by Celtic.